calm down, cause you just wanna learn something, so I teach you something. I am the one to teach
Call
you.
me 10 wins and 20.
Oh, good evening. Well, it's evening now when I'm recording this. Because a little bird came and told me something that I couldn't let slide. So it sparked this wonderful public service announcement telling everyone quite literally, don't be a liar. And yes, it is brought to you by yours truly. Now, some may be wondering, what is it that would actually spark me to go ahead and talk about such a thing? Well, someone decided to say something very specific about me. Something that could not go uncorrected and unaddressed. As you can see here, Craig is saying that he's pissed that I tried to get Unirock to expose him for buying subs. Except there's a problem. I never said or did such a thing. But there's a history here. There's a pattern of behavior here that we will get into first. Some of you may or may not remember a rather public occurrence which took place on Twitter, which the link to the thread is in the description of this video. Back at the beginning of August, Craig made quite the claim. What was that claim? Well, apparently, around or over $100 is the same as 55. Now I'm just going to quickly scroll through the actual capture of these tweets because, as I said, the link is in the description and you can go take a look for yourself. But what I find rather interesting are some of the things that are said here, because this is one of his responses where he took a manipulated response from the recipient of a charity stream that he hosted after other people have done the same thing, and somehow tried to use that as ammunition against a claim which he himself made up. But amongst all that, I tried to correct him. I tried to keep things real with him. Even going to the point to remind him that some of us have tried on multiple occasions in the background privately to have conversations with him about how things were looking and how they were coming off. All of those conversations fell on deaf ears. And yes, right here, I was quite literally being physically ill at one point due to all of these shenanigans. But that didn't stop it. That did not stop it one bit. And here we have, after pointing out that 20 plus 30 plus 5 does not around $100 make, he then tried to make the claim of anonymous donations. Little did he know, I had already begun talking with Off the Hook because I had a feeling it was going to go there. And, oh, wait, yeah, there's a couple screenshots that I put together for him there. Well, let's take a closer look at those. As you can see here, there's two things that this addresses. One, the bottom part, where I went directly to Off the Hook and just simply asked, did Craig donate any money by any platform other than GoFundMe? The answer was no. He gave $20 of his own, the $30 from the stream, and $5 from Logical Troglodyte. Nothing other than those donations. Now here's the real kicker. She also has a PayPal. No transfers there. On GoFundMe, there are anonymous donations listed. But there's a kicker. GoFundMe still captures and requires contact information for the donations, which are shared with the recipient. They just aren't shown publicly. So when she went and looked at those anonymous donations, none of them linked back to Craig. None. So That's just back in August. He was trying to take claim and ownership of donations that were not his, trying to make himself look better. But that was the line for me, because before, the other link you see, the other capture you see here, was actually the first time he tried to lie directly to my face. He tried to say that he did not make a particular statement, a claim of a fallacious nature against another creator and assistant here within the community. So I've made sure to call it out right there, right away to him, that yes, he just lied to my face in the conversation we were having, saying he never made a claim on camera. So apparently, according to Craig, a live stream showing his face on his own channel isn't on camera. And I told him then, seriously, take a look at yourself before what's left of the credibility is gone. Sadly, that wasn't listened to. It really wasn't. Because as we see here, after I shared that screenshot publicly on Twitter, he said that, as we can see, ask if there were any donations with no name. Oh, there were. Except none of them traced back to you. So there we have him trying to lie to me, not once, but twice. And then we go back to this gem that I tried to get Unirock to expose him for buying subs. Here's a problem with that, Craig. And if you were there for the actual conversation that took place, you would know how wrong and incorrect that attempt at slander actually is. While I will admit, yes, I did have a conversation with Unirock concerning your behavior and whether or not what you have said can be verified, can be substantiated. And that's what actually started it, is someone else brought the topic of questions of your history to Unirock. And that's where it ultimately got to Unirock that myself and others have information about it that raises the same questions. It was then that I was brought into the group conversation that was going on. But guess who brought up the analytics? Not me. You hear that? I wasn't the one to bring it up. As a matter of fact, I don't give a fuck about your analytics or anyone else's. The only time it even comes up is if someone else mentions it. Hey, did you notice this happen? And if I care enough to look, I may say whether or not it seems sketchy or it looks questionable, but I by no means have ever made a definitive claim about anyone buying subscribers or buying views. I didn't say it to Unirock. I wasn't even a part of that portion of the conversation other than listening to what Unirock himself was digging into and found, amongst other people who were in the conversation, again, on their own looking into it. I heard what they were seeing, saw what they had shared in the general chat of Unirock's Discord server, and my response was, it seems sketchy because you have a jump of nearly 1,000 subscribers with a drop in views. But that leads us to something else that you said. Something else that a little birdie decided to share with me. You apparently looked into it and it would cost over $2,000 to buy that many subs? Now, while this is a rather interesting deflection towards Kyle and the non sequitur issue, let's look at this. It would cost him over $1,000 to buy 600 subs, while you yourself had a jump of a little over 900, which is what sparked the question. Not a claim, a question. But $1,000 for 600 subs? $2,000 for closer to what your channel did in the one day? Huh. Funny how this one site, which is just one of many that offers the services you have been questioned about, the numbers don't match up. Because that looks like 1,000 subscribers for $40. Not thousands. Not 8,000. 8,000 subscribers, but not $1,000. It seems as if you really don't know how to do the research. It seems like you really don't know how to keep out of your own way. Now, I will say this at this point. Craig, I honestly don't care if you decide to keep lying about things. I don't. Because the evidence is there. The contradictions are there. The deviations from stories are there. Anyone with half a brain can find them at this point. That's no longer an issue. The only issue that remains is if you decide to keep lying, if you decide to keep up with the behavior that many of us have tried to point out to you, you only really have one thing to worry about. Keep my name out of your fucking mouth. I am done with you. I am done with the topic in general. You want to continue lying? By all means, go do it somewhere else. Again, if I hear that my name is on your tongue again, in any way, shape, or form, you won't like the consequences. I am not one to be trifled with. I don't flex that often, but enough is enough. And remember, everyone, this has been a public service announcement. As a reminder to everyone, don't be a Craig. Do, 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 do.